Hey guys, I'm Showman, father of two dogs, one bird, a backbencher, married to a school teacher, a photographer turned market analyst, and I'm also a podcaster who will help you to launch your podcast and your audience will go crazy about it. I'm the host and producer of this podcast channel, Chase Your Dream. Welcome to my channel. Before we begin, don't forget to press the subscribe button and also the bell icon so that you never miss a show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special episode of Chase Your Dream. Today, we have among us someone who is the CEO and the founder of Rock the Bedroom, the only sex education community of this trend. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome one and only Lee Jagger. Lee, welcome to me.
Thank you so much, Human. I'm really excited about this. And I'm excited that you agreed to have me on because not everyone wants to have a conversation as intimate as this. And I love normalizing these kinds of conversations so that more people feel comfortable actually talking about sex and sexuality and body parts and making it normal because there are so many taboos. So thank you so much for being open-minded and inviting me on.
It is really an honor to have you in my show. Now to start with, what made you decide on this path where you are right now?
What made me decide to, oh my gosh, so I am an erotic massage coach. I did not actually decide I want to be an erotic massage coach. That would have been the very last thing on the planet that I would have chosen for myself because I was not feeling comfortable and free in the bedroom. I did not know how to touch a man's penis very well. I didn't know what to do with it, really. I was a sexual wallflower. I just kind of went along with whatever the guy wanted to do and was very passive in the bedroom. And I didn't really have a voice I didn't know what I would prefer. I just didn't prefer what was actually going on in the bedroom. I was not enthusiastic. I never initiated sex. So the idea of me being an erotic massage coach where you are touching private parts of a man's body was the last thing on my mind. But a number of years ago, when I was in my earlier 40s, and I'm 52 now, I was very broke, living in a hoarder's living room with my young son. And so I was desperate, which was the only reason why I did not hang up the phone when this woman called in response to my Craigslist ad for massage. She called and she said, "Hey, so I have this massage office. You look like you know what to do. Have you ever thought of erotic massage?" And normally I would hang up, but I'm like, that's with a happy ending, right? And she says yes, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's so not my dealio. Thank you. So I didn't know what to do. And I just had this icky stereotype of the kind of clients who would go to those places, and I didn't have a good image in my mind. But I was hungry, literally. And when she told me the kind of money that women in that profession typically made, I thought, I'll take one for Team Jagger. Maybe if I just do this a couple weeks, get ahead financially. So I went in and I paired up with another woman who was a pro, and she took the lead. She handled the happy ending. It was me dipping my toes in the water, and the guy on the table was beautiful and a lovely man. He was very sweet, very smart. I would date him. He was a wonderful person. And I thought, wow, that didn't go too bad. Maybe I'll try this again tomorrow. And the lady, she said, actually, I'm double booked right now. Can you take this other guy? I'm like, by myself. I don't know if I'm ready for that. But I thought, if I don't do this right now, I might not come back tomorrow. And so it was that little voice in my head that said, just get in that room, fake it till you make it. And I walked into the room, and the guy on the table was the stereotypical old creepy guy. There was no rapport built. He had no interest in who I was. It felt a little creepy. And then halfway through the massage, he gets off the table and he said, okay, you get on the table now. I'm going to massage you. And I'm like, what just happened? My door's locked. So, if I'm like, help, nobody can get in. I was freaking out. Somehow I got him back on the table. I'm writing a book about all this. And I get him back on the table. I'm finishing the session. I felt really proud of being professional and not kicking him out. And I realized, oh my gosh, Lee, this is indicative of your sex life. You have no control. You don't express your boundaries. You don't know how to enforce your boundaries. You have no voice in the bedroom. This is big girl panty time. Like, this is an opportunity for you to learn a lot about yourself and take charge in intimate situations with men. And so I did that work for 6 years. I thought I would maybe do it for 6 days. I did it for 6 years, and I learned a whole lot about myself. And I'm so glad that I did that. And I am a completely different person now, and now I am the expert to teach erotic massage. But was it a conscious decision? Absolutely not. Not until I was faced with that threatening situation where I felt unsafe, and the reality of the person that I was being, this disempowered person in the bedroom. When that was thrown in my face, that's when I decided, yeah, I need to do this work. And that's why I teach it now, because I am not the only person, I'm not the only woman who is feeling disempowered in the bedroom. So now I help women to take control and feel confident and creative and playful in the bedroom.
That's interesting. So, what is your definition of amazing sex?
Oh, amazing sex is where both people can feel free. Like, they don't have that inner mind trash that says, oh, am I doing this right? Oh, I don't like it when he does that. Oh, that gerbil, that hamster in the hamster wheel, just like churning in your head, the doubts and the wonderings and none of that's there. Where you're just confident, you know exactly what you're doing, you know how to ask for what you want, you know how to ask for what you don't want. And you have this beautiful dance with your partner where you're just basking in each other's presence and all the sensations and just loving on each other. And, no agendas, feeling very safe, feeling playful, and just feeling safe to open up. And when you can really open up and just be free, that's when sex becomes amazing. Where you just let go and you're not second guessing anything. Yeah, that's what I would say.
So, how can I be more comfortable with my body?
I think it's important for us to explore our own body, to know what we want, and to learn various communication techniques to be able to express to our partner. Because when we're really sure about what we want, what feels good to us, then we can take that next step to express that to our partner. Then you can feel a lot more comfortable. Like, a big part of feeling comfortable with ourselves is having boundaries. And there was this interesting study done where there were these preschool children and the preschool teacher. And the teacher brought the kids to a park. And the teacher said, okay, you can play on all the equipment, the swings and the monkey bars and jungle gym, all that. You can go play. There was no fence around this park. There were no clearly defined boundaries, and they found that the kids stuck pretty close to the teacher. They didn't really explore the park all that much. They took the same kids, the same teacher to a different park with a very well-defined fence around it, same kind of equipment. The kids went crazy. They explored every inch of that park because they felt safe to. They knew where the boundaries were. Like, if I stay on this side of that fence, I am safe. I know where it's okay to be. And so when we have clearly defined boundaries that we can express to our partner and to ourselves, it's like we actually know what those boundaries are. A lot of people don't. Then you can be free. Then you can be comfortable. And if you're able to express those boundaries, then you're able to express in the moment of intimacy, oh, actually, you know what? I would rather we do this instead of whatever we're doing right now, and then you feel so much more comfortable. So boundaries, I think, are step number one, and expressing those boundaries, for sure.
Very well explained. Very well explained, I must say.
Thank you.
What can I do to get my partner explore other pleasures of sex? Example, BDSM and other stuff.
Right. That is a great question, because it all really boils down to safety, honoring each other's preferences, being willing to explore. Like, if a partner is wanting to ask their partner to try something new, I would highly recommend that they do it in baby steps. Like, tweak just a little bit, like introduce just a little bit of newness into whatever you're already doing, and before you even get into the bedroom, have a conversation about that. Like, I would like to try this little thing, one little thing of all the, dozen things that you probably want to try, but just pick one thing that seems like the babyest step, the tiniest little step for your partner to make, and give them an out. Like, say, I would like to try this, and I'd like to go really slowly and find out how we can explore that in a way that feels good to both me and you. Because I want you to enjoy this. I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy this, but I really want you to enjoy this as well. And so your partner is already feeling safe because they know that at any point they can say, actually, you know what? I'm not feeling good about that. And if you are open about, and maybe you have a safe word, like watermelon, or some word that would normally not come up in the bedroom, where they could say watermelon, and that is a hell no. That is a nope, I'm not enjoying that at all. And there's other ways where, I teach women this all the time. Like, don't just say no to a man. You got to give him credit for trying. So I would say something like, yes, and can you actually slow that down a little bit? Like, yes, and correction, whatever the correction is, instead of like, no, I don't like that. Because then, the person's trying their best and they can't read your mind. So you gotta go easy on them. But if you're the one trying to convince your partner to start something new, I would just do the baby steps, have the conversation outside of the bedroom, and make it really safe for your partner to course correct as need be. Yeah, but introduce it slowly so that they're not overwhelmed and just saying no to the whole thing. They might say yes to a lot of individual things.
So baby steps, go slowly. That is the process, according to you.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, people fear what they don't know. So this is, especially the bedroom is the most vulnerable place to be. So if you're introducing something new in the bedroom, the person is thinking, I don't know. Like we fear the unknown. So a confused mind says no every time. So if you want to get a yes out of your partner, make it something so close to what you're already doing and do it slowly, introduce it gradually, and check in as you go. Like, hey, so how does this, I just want to check in. How's this feel? Am I pushing too hard or would you like me to go lighter or that kind of thing. Like check in with your partner. You got to open up communication because if your partner is saying no in their head to everything that you're doing, but you haven't actually made it safe for them to say no out loud, then they will say no to anything else new that you introduce. So communication is number one.
Okay.
Number one, yeah.
So how to move past mental roadblocks that make it hard to orgasm with a new partner?
Oh my gosh, that's a Pandora's box. That's a deep, deep well. And I go into that a lot. In Rock the Bedroom is my company, and I have various courses that I teach, and we go really deep into unraveling like what's really going on. Like I just on the weekend I had a live event, and one of my clients came on, and she told the story of her 8-year-long boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
He, before they were introduced to my work, he could not get an erection. Like just couldn't. They were having massive difficulties in their relationship. They loved each other. There was no problem there, but he just was having erectile problems. And through through learning the erotic massage techniques that I teach, it's not just hands-on, it's a lot of communication that gets introduced as well. And this one particular technique that I use to let the guy off the hook, like to just totally, you don't have to perform at all. There's a certain technique I use to do that, to just relax him and just, you don't have to get an erection. This is all right. And now he has no problem at all. He is hard as a rock, ready to go anytime. And their whole relationship has shifted. Like it saved their relationship. And he's just like adoring her and doting on her and taking her places and paying for things. Like he's so happy now. And so this stems from old past issues, but you don't have to, I'm not dissing couples therapy. It has its place.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes all you need to do to unravel all of the psychological blocks that you have is just to get down into your body and really communicate about what it is right now that I need to feel safe, to be able to let go, to not just to address the stuff that's coming up from your past, but to not have to rehash it and rehash it and rehash it. Like, let's acknowledge it, but then not focus on the problem, but seek a solution. And the solution is always love and compassion and gentleness and communication.
That's the main.
So, yeah, whether it's, erection or orgasm, all that, it's all tied together. And we've all been hurt somehow in the bedroom. We've all felt unsafe somehow in the bedroom. We've all felt like inept in some way, not good enough in the bedroom. So when you can make a person feel good enough, feel loved, feel safe enough, feel heard, all that other stuff just falls away. I've seen miracles. And you didn't have to go through years of therapy to get rid of that stuff. Just pivot into the direction of what you do want. And so, yeah, there are various reasons why people have the blocks.
Mm-hmm. True.
There's so many different reasons. There's many different reasons as there are people, I'm sure. And so it's difficult to address all of the reasons, but I know that the solution is really letting go of all the preconceived ideas of what you think sex needs to look like. Because what I do is I rewire people's brains to have a just totally different kind of sex. Let's not take the sex that you're not enjoying and try to enjoy it. Let's just cut right to the sex that doesn't look like anything like the sex that you don't enjoy. You know, it's like I don't enjoy spaghetti. Say I don't like spaghetti. You can't say I don't like food. Spaghetti is only one little morsel of food. Maybe I love sushi. Maybe I like chocolate. Maybe, you know, like there's so many other foods to choose from. So say someone has had some trauma over having intercourse, then erotic massage just may be the thing to totally turn it around, because you're not having intercourse. I mean, it could lead to intercourse, but it's just a totally different playing field. And women, especially, are not, like, women are in control with erotic massage. They're 100%, and I don't mean just she rolls over and gets on top of him. She is in control of the whole situation. So instead of feeling powerless, she feels very powerful. And when you feel powerful in the bedroom, there's a whole lot more room to enjoy yourself in the bedroom and therefore have an orgasm. Yeah.
How to tell my partner that I have been faking my orgasm without hurting his or her ego?
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's the whole thing. Why do we fake an orgasm? Because we don't want to hurt them. And we want it to be over with. Like, I'm done. I'm not going to have an orgasm, or, you know, things are getting sore down there, or whatever. Like, I'm done. I want to say, okay, that's it. But we know that, for women anyway, we know that the guy is very goal-oriented. So he's trying to help you have an orgasm. He just wants you to feel good. He just, you know, and he takes that as a personal failure a little bit. Like, he's not pulling his weight. He's not good enough in the bedroom. So we don't want to hurt his feelings and make him think, yeah, you're right, you're not good enough. We don't want that. So we would rather let him have the win. Yes, I had a mind-blowing orgasm. Just like, it's an act of kindness to her partner and to herself. She wants it to stop, so she gets it to stop. Because you guys are thinking, okay, if we have an orgasm, or if I have an orgasm, she has an orgasm, good, then it stops. What I teach is, let's take the orgasm off the table. We're not going for an orgasm. There are so many things that feel so delicious when you're in that turned on state, even without an orgasm, right? I mean, that's the yummy part. I don't even like calling that foreplay. I call it juicy time. Because it's so juicy.
Yes.
When you're writhing around in ecstasy, it's so good, with or without an orgasm.
Yes, it's true.
So one way to get around the whole, I'm going to have to fake this to make it stop, is to we're not going for an orgasm. Let's just enjoy each other. Let's find out all the ways that each of us like to be touched. And so then, and you can, again, set that container, set that boundary of, all right, so we're going to take 20 minutes, 5 minutes, an hour, whatever you choose. We're going to set an alarm. And in 20 minutes, I'm just going to practice all these different touches on you. And I just want to really fine tune what works for you, what feels good for you. I'm not going for an orgasm, just 20 minutes of me just practicing stuff and just learning your body. She's not going to have to fake it. She's going to be begging you to give her an orgasm because she's going to be so turned on. So that's what I mean by a whole different playing field. Totally different kind of sex. No performance anxiety required whatsoever. The guys don't have to perform. The women don't have to perform. We're just playing. Relaxing. Exactly. It's just play. So, yeah, that would be my best answer. Instead of How do I tell him that I've been faking it? Don't. Let's get onto a different playing field. We're not having an orgasm, but we're going to do something that feels even better. I cannot tell you how many guys. So those 6 years, I had over 2,000 clients. And I cannot tell you how many of them said, oh my gosh, that was better than sex. And by that, they meant intercourse. And I only had my hands on his body. And he said the words, that was better than sex. I don't know any man who would say that anything is better than sex. But I had a lot of clients say that. So when I say take the orgasm off the table, I don't mean he's not going to have one. I don't mean you're not going to have one as a woman. But just taking the pressure to have an orgasm off the table, wow, magic happens for both the giver and the receiver. Yeah.
So how to deal with extraordinary clitoral activities?
Sorry, say that again.
How to deal with extraordinary clitoral sensitivity?
Oh, clitoral sensitivity. I want to make sure I'm answering the right question. Are you asking how to best stimulate it?
No. I'm just asking how to deal with extraordinary clitoral sensitivity.
Oh, how to deal with when the
Yes.
when the clitoris is extra sensitive,
Yes.
and how to deal with, as in it's painful? Because you want the clitoris to be sensitive. That is the woman's that's the women's equivalent of a penis. You would want the penis to be very sensitive. That's why it feels so good. There are different ways that you can, like if you push back the basically foreskin of the clitoris, you can stimulate the clitoris, which is very, very small as far as what you can actually see. If you pull back the hood, it is very, very sensitive. You don't if it's too sensitive, don't pull back the hood and stimulate it with skin over top. Also, so the outer labia, I wish I had a diagram right now. The outer labia, the outer lips of the woman's anatomy, you can actually like place that over the clitoris and stimulate it that way. She's still gonna feel it a lot, but through the layers of skin, it desensitizes it a little bit. So if a woman is really super sensitive in a way that she doesn't want you to touch it, you can stimulate it by going through the layers of skin. Yeah, definitely. And even with like the palm of your hand, like it doesn't have to be fingertip, just the palm of your hand or the heel of your hand in that area. Oh yeah, it's going to feel amazing. And yet it's not, fingertip super sensitive. That's how I would answer that.
So I have a question actually. Does G-spot really exist?
For both men and women, yes.
Yes.
It is sensitive to varying degrees for men and women. Some women prefer more clitoral stimulation to G-spot stimulation. For some, the combination of the two feels the best. For others, they have a mind-blowing orgasm with just the G-spot stimulation. So that's where you need to find out from your partner. And for a man, he's got a G-spot too. That is the prostate. And you can stimulate it by reaching into his anus, or you can stimulate it externally. And I work a lot with that because a lot of women don't know what the man's G-spot is, or even if they have one. And yes, they do. And if you are stimulating, even externally, stimulating a man's G-spot while he's having an orgasm, you're gonna make him see God. It can be very, very enjoyable. So, yes, it takes a little while to find it sometimes, and not even, there are a lot of people who don't even know where their own G spot is. So, like, you can't always ask the person, so where is it? Tell me, because they might not even know. That's why you need to find an expert. Yeah.
We have come across a term called cervical orgasm. So is it a real thing or how?
Sorry, say that again.
We have come across a term called cervical orgasm. Cervical orgasm.
Oh, cervical orgasm. Yeah.
So throw some light on that.
Well, I know that cervical stimulation can lead to orgasm. That can feel enjoyable to a woman. Sometimes it doesn't. So if a man has an extra long penis and her cervix is like maybe too low, not too low, but it's lower, and he is hitting the cervix in an uncomfortable way, that's not going to stimulate an orgasm. And depending on her anatomy and his anatomy, he could be ramming into it, or he might not be able to touch it, depending on the length of his penis and how high her cervix is. So some women like it, some people don't. So it can be pleasurable or not, and in different positions, it can be like, some people find certain positions uncomfortable because the cervix is being hit too hard. So, it's important that, maybe you like a certain position, but it is not comfortable for your partner. You gotta know that. Because your partner is going to fake her orgasm to get it over with because she needs it to stop. So that's where the communication really comes in handy, because you never want a woman going, "Oh, I hate this," in her head and never say it out loud. That is when she's going to start cutting off sex, and then you're not going to get any sex. So, cervical, gotta be careful with that. Some women don't like it. Yeah.
So you have just talked about the erectile dysfunction, but I want to know more. Men has a huge problem with this erectile dysfunction and performance anxiety. So how to move, keeping it back, how to move on? That's what I understand.
Yeah. So there are so many different reasons why a man might have that issue. Could be performance anxiety in the bedroom. Like she never has an orgasm, so he's doubting himself, and so that will take a big hit on his erection. Could be medication. Certain medications will totally wipe out an erection. Diabetes will halt it. Yeah, certain surgeries, especially in that area, will take away your erection, depending on what nerves end up getting hit. So there's so many reasons why a man might have erection issues. It may not have anything to do with the woman. All that said, women need to understand that men can have an orgasm, and men need to know this. A lot of men don't know this, that a man can have an orgasm without getting erect.
Even I don't know this.
Right. A lot of men don't. They're like, oh, okay, if I want to have an orgasm, I have to be able to have an erection. So if I can't get an erection, okay, game over. No, not at all. Not at all. And a lot of women assume that, okay, he's got a flaccid penis, I can't do anything with it. All right, well, that's it. We're not having sex tonight because you can't get it up. That will only exacerbate the problem, because then the man's feeling totally, inept, and that just makes him not get an erection even more. So when women realize, I have a whole module in my course on flaccid penis modifications because it feels good to be stimulated. You can, like, there are so many nerve endings in a man's penis. So many. That's why it feels so good to be touched. Those nerve endings don't go away when he's soft. They're still there. They're still active. They still want to be stimulated. And so there are so many ways to touch a penis, even when it's flaccid, that still feel fabulous. So many ways. There are certain things you can't do with it, but there are so many things that you can. And that's one of the things that I teach is it doesn't matter whether he is hard as a rock or completely flaccid. It doesn't matter. Your guy can still feel like a king. And you got to know that your man has experienced not being touched down there because he hasn't had an erection. And like, I'm going to say something really strange right now. A lot of what I learned about sex, I learned from Mother Teresa. And I know that sounds really weird because she dealt with people in the depths of poverty, you know? But she said this one thing. She said, the most terrible poverty is loneliness and the feeling of being unwanted. And there is nothing that makes a man feel more unwanted than for a woman to look at his penis and go, nah, and not touch it. And just stay away from it and usually it's only because she doesn't know what to do with it. But the gut, that's a punch in the gut to a man. That hurts. That really hurts a man. So that's why I teach women how to touch a penis no matter what state it's in, because that is the best way to love on your guy, is to show him that you are not afraid of that part of him. You're not disgusted by that part. You love it. You're like, you can't wait to get on it. You can't wait to just lavish your affection and your touch on that part of him, because men identify hugely with their genitals. Hugely. So, you know, they already have this internal voice in their head beating themselves up because they can't get an erection. They already are going there, ladies. So you should be not adding to that problem, but trying to love him through it and let him know that it's okay. I love it when I'm with a guy with a flaccid penis. I push him down on the bed and I say, oh, honey, don't you worry. I'm going to take care of you. And I'm going to make him feel like a king. And what happens, and I know ladies right now are thinking, okay, so what's in it for me? You know, like, okay, so we're giving, we're helping guys. Well, what about me? What do I get out of it? Oh my gosh. So ladies get so much out of this. They get the confidence that you feel. I mean, that sounds cliche. Oh yeah, confidence. But it's a confidence it's a cliche until you just are confident. I mean, be able to be so confident when you walk in the bedroom that you know you're going to blow him away. You're going to be better than any ex he's ever had. He's never going to wander away because you're going to satisfy fantasies he didn't even know he had. Like, that kind of confidence feels good. It feels good to have a man squirm under your fingertips. That feels amazing. And when you do that for a guy, he will swim oceans for you. He will do anything. He'll take you to the store and get you those shoes you've been thinking about. You know, a man does not want to be outdone in the bedroom either. So he is going to roll over and push you down and do whatever he can to please you. Like, ladies, you do not lose out on this. And if you're single and you're dating, to be able to sit across the table from a man and instead of think, oh, I hope he likes me, you're thinking, oh, you're gonna like me. You know, like that whole shift, then you can relax, You don't have the mind chatter of, oh, am I good enough? No. You know that you are the queen and you can choose any man you want. And he will be the luckiest girl or luckiest man on the planet to have you. So it just changes who you are as a woman when you have these techniques to be able to touch your man in ways that he's never, ever felt before. Like, that's huge value to a man. He is never going to let you go. So don't do these techniques on a man you're trying to let go, because he won't ever let you go. If you're trying to break up with someone, don't give him an erotic massage.
So, what is the real story of midlife sex?
The real story?
Because why I have asked this question is there are a lot of spices that have gone up in the midlife sex, and in reverse also. A lot of spices add up during midlife sex also. So, what is the real story of midlife sex?
I think the common story of midlife sex is that, like, people just assume that sex drive lessens over time. That there was this thing going around Snapchat where people were saying, tell me you're not having sex without telling me, without saying the words, I'm not having sex. And what was going around, it was huge. People were holding up their ring finger and showing a ring like a wedding band, as in, I'm married, of course I'm not having sex. That is so sad. And yet, like, everybody was doing it because so many couples are not having sex. And it's just assumed that, when you get into midlife and you've been with your partner for a while, the sex just goes away, right? Someone's not happy. And so it just like lessens. That is what's really happening, but is so unnecessary. That is not what it needs to be at all. I mean, you see it all the time where if someone in midlife actually gets a divorce and then they find another partner, they're having lots of sex. They're so excited and they're very turned on and there's no problems. There's no orgasm problems. There's no erection problems. There's like, wow, new lease on life. It's got nothing to do with midlife. It's just that you have gotten into these old patterns and the same old stale sex life and lack of communication, and that partner always does that thing that you're not really crazy about and it's gone so long so you can't tell them now. Like all that happens and you gotta break that pattern. You gotta spice it up. You gotta introduce new communication. You gotta really get real with your partner. Because midlife sex can be fabulous. Because in midlife, it can be juicier than when you were in your 20s because you're more comfortable in your body. You know what you want. You could really have the sex life of your dreams in midlife because you're just more developed as a person. So you take that into the bedroom and get really comfortable in the bedroom. Oh my gosh, it's better than ever. But you got to know that a stale sex life is not default. That it's not the default setting when you get older. No. I taught a couple who were married for 52 years, and they discovered things they didn't even know. And the lady, she said to me, "Oh, we're having like conversations we've never had." And we've always felt fairly comfortable with each other, but this is a whole different level of comfort in the bedroom and out of the bedroom. Like when you change things in the bedroom, everything gets better. Everything. Oh yeah, like everything just gets lighter and easier and more playful. If you can get there in the bedroom, yeah. The rest is so much easier. The ripple effects go on and on. Yeah.
So we are stuck in rut. How to do things spice up?
Well, I have a free resource for people. They can check it out. So if you go to rockthebedroom.com, right at the top of the page, it says drive him wild. There is one technique that everybody can do. And men can do this on women too, although it is demonstrated on a man because my audience is mostly women. And so, but it is transferable. A man could do all of what I show on the woman too. So ladies, you're getting yours too. But it's the most simplest technique. You're going to look at it. And so to spice things up, it's not that difficult. It's not as difficult as you think. It takes the tiniest little, simplest little modifications in what you're doing, and you can have profound impact on your partner's pleasure. And your partner will melt in ways he's never melted before. So there's that. It's a free thing. Go check it out. You're going to look at it and you're going to go, oh, this isn't going to do anything. That looks dumb. It's too easy. It's too simple. Try it though. So that thing, the free resource, Drive Him Wild, that couple that was married for 52 years, actually this year it's 53, she said the words, like the technique is called powdered sugar. I've named all my techniques after food. And that one's called powdered sugar. And she said to me, powdered sugar is awesome. And she knows all the different techniques, but that was the one she said, it's awesome. She's been touching her husband for 52 years. And that was the one that she pointed out. So, and it's so simple, but it's foundational. It's so foundational. So I'm giving that away for free. If you go to rockthebedroom.com, it's amazing. Do it before you write it off, because you'll look down at your man and you'll see him squirming, and he's going to be changing his breathing. He's going to be begging to go further because it is so yummy. You can see the guy in the video, and I got to say, there's nudity. It's all very tasteful. It doesn't feel like porn. There's no bow chicka wow wow kind of music. It's all very professional and tasteful. But you can see the guy, like his belly. He's like, even with all the lights and the cameras and everything, he is getting turned on as I'm demonstrating this technique. You see him go from flaccid to fully erect. Like he couldn't help it because it's that good. So I would recommend starting with that one thing and see how it goes.
So
I've never come across anyone who did not like powdered sugar, man or woman. It's so good.
it's really good because I have been checking your website prior to this interview. I've checked all those things, so it's really good. Yes.
Excellent.
What is sex positive asexual?
Sex positive asexuality?
Yes.
Sex positive asexuality. I actually don't know that term. I'm not familiar with that term. I'm familiar with sex positive, which I'm all about. Yes, sex positive. And I'm very familiar with asexuality. I used to consider myself asexual. Way back in the day when I was, I didn't know how to initiate in the bedroom. After a couple months of being with a partner, I was totally not interested in sex at all. I thought I was just asexual because no matter which partner I was with, I reached this point within just a couple months where I had no interest in sex. I was thinking of ways to make excuses to not have sex. You know, like in the middle of dinner, I'm thinking, oh my God, okay, what do I think of tonight? Oh, I'm feeling bloated. There was gluten in this meal. Okay, so I'm bloated tonight. Okay, I haven't used that in a while. Like I would be thinking of these reasons to not have sex. And I was convinced I was asexual. And I came to understand that I was not asexual at all. So I think a lot of people out there might think they're asexual who actually aren't. They just don't, they're just having the wrong kind of sex and are getting completely turned off and are avoiding uncomfortable situations. So I would encourage people to try to be sex positive and get the education and look for an expert who can show them different ways to explore their sexuality and find a way that feels the best. Because you just may be turned off of the sex that you've always encountered. And there are other ways to have sex that could be very pleasurable, and then you end up realizing, wow, actually I do like this kind of sex. So I mean, I guess I would say, if I'm interpreting it correctly, I would say I am sex positive asexual.
Okay.
And maybe there are people who are legitimately asexual, zero interest, no matter whatever happened in the bedroom, they wouldn't be interested in sex. Fine, I acknowledge that. But I think a lot of people misdiagnose themselves as that, and there is a way to enjoy it that they just haven't discovered yet. Yeah.
So a lot of people nowadays have a dilemma that is my sex life normal? That's the question mark they are always having in their mind. So how to get out of that situation?
Is my sex life normal? Well, that makes me wonder, why are you asking that question? You know, because there's got to be some kind of doubt in there if you're asking that question. You know, you've been maybe shamed into believing that you shouldn't, your normal default way of wanting to have sex is you shouldn't have that. That's what that question makes me wonder. And I would say everything that you desire, you're allowed to desire. And I would imagine that those people who are asking those questions, if they're with a partner, maybe their partner is not into that. And that's why they're thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't be into it either. So everything is, I don't even like to use the word normal, because then it sounds like anything outside of that is distasteful or shameful or weird and shouldn't be allowed. But there is, like, it's like saying, oh, this is a normal looking penis or a normal looking vagina. They're all different. There is no normal. It's like a fingerprint. I've seen every size, shape, color, design, hooks here and there, and I can't even tell you the varieties that I've seen. And just like that, there's so many varieties of sexual preference. So is your preference of sex normal? Yeah, it's normal for you.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone deserves to feel okay with what they want in the bedroom. The trick is to try to convey that to your partner in a way that helps them be open to trying things out the way it feels normal to you. That's the trick. Yeah, so I would tell everybody, do not doubt yourself. It is okay to want what you want.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it's normal.
So what is the best way to share the fantasies?
To share fantasies,
Yes.
I would start outside of the bedroom,
Okay.
so that the person isn't feeling obligated to fulfill those fantasies in the moment. You know, like, and to set the stage of, okay, can we just share our fantasies? Like, I would like to know what your fantasy is. I'm not guaranteeing that I will actually be able to help you with that. You know, like, to just share openly, non-judgmentally, not feeling committed to be the one to fulfill that fantasy, but to just, without agenda, you know, like taking the orgasm off the table. Okay, let's take the fulfillment of that fantasy off the table. Let's just share in our wildest dreams. This is my fantasy. Like, it's, you know, like if I say my wildest dreams, I get to have sex with Hugh Jackman. your partner needs to make sure that it's okay, that I feel safe to say that, and they're not going to feel jealous. Or, like zero judgment. Your partner will not share their fantasy unless they feel safe to do so. So if you can create ways to have conversations where there is no judgment, there will be no repercussions, that it won't be held over their head later down the road, then you can share your fantasies. Because fantasies, they're very personal. And you're unlikely to have the same fantasy as your partner.
Yes.
So that's why it's a fantasy. It's like a secret. It's like, this is my thing that I feel comfortable with, but I haven't shared with anybody else because I don't think anyone's really going to understand why this is my fantasy. That's a vulnerable place to be. So it's difficult to share fantasies because you never know if you're going to get judged because of it. So you need to establish a safe arena for your partner to share. So you really have to have that conversation outside of the bedroom. Lay the ground rules, no judgment. This won't be held against you. I'm not going to tell anybody else. I don't guarantee that I'm going to fulfill it. All that stuff. Communication's important there.
So we have heard about the term called orgasmic meditation. So what is that?
Orgasmic meditation is typically taught where the woman is lying down in this little nest that they've constructed, and she's spread eagle, so her vagina is in full view, and the man will cozy up close to her and stimulate a part of her clitoris with his finger, very slowly. It's a very tiny movement, and the orgasm is not on the table. That's not part of it. It may happen, but it's not the intended outcome. And he will describe what he sees. He's very present with her. She is allowed to feel and moan and move the way she feels. It's a really amazing way to discover a lot about a woman's body and allow her to feel free without performance anxiety to have an orgasm. And he is just being the giver. It's kind of the tables are turned there, where it's like the opposite of what I teach, where I teach women to love on a man's privates without him having to reciprocate in any way. He just gets to lay there. I mean, he's going to want to reciprocate, but he doesn't have to, right? And men you ask any man who spent some time doing orgasmic meditation on a woman, he gets so much out of that. So the ladies also get so much out of turning the tables and doing that for a man. It's just such a lovely way to explore that area of your partner's body and help them to feel bliss without any expectations attached. It's really beautiful. And I think it's about time that the tables were turned so that the men get to receive that as well. Because men, you guys are, God love you. You are the givers. You're the protectors. You're the providers. You guys, I love that about you guys. So ladies, it's such a gift to say to your guy, you know what? You get to just receive. You're always giving. Let your guy receive and just not have to reciprocate in any way in that moment.
But I understand a lot of reciprocations will come up in that very moment.
Say that again?
But I am 100% sure a lot of reciprocation will come up at that very moment.
Oh, yes, absolutely. But there's, it seems we've got this Hollywood version of, we're both orgasming at the same time, and it's It's a mutual at the simultaneous bliss fest. I personally, now that I know what I know, I get more enjoyment out of like one at a time. I'm going to give to you, give. Different time, you give to me, give. And I just get to receive. Like, I don't want to have to be performing while I'm enjoying what you're doing, because then I'm thinking about what my hands or my mouth or whatever is doing, and I'm not actually focusing on what you are doing to pleasure me. I mean, sometimes that works, but often, like if I could just relax and enjoy every single second of what you're doing to me, I get way more out of that, and vice versa. Where a person doesn't have to perform, they can just enjoy and relax. And it doesn't mean that reciprocation doesn't happen. It might not happen in that second at the same time, though. And it's just a totally different way about it. Until you actually experience it, you don't. It's like orgasmic meditation. Unless you experience it, you can't really understand the power of that practice. So, same thing with erotic massage on men. You got to experience it to really understand the power and the benefit to both parties. Yeah.
Are there certain exercises which can lead to a better sex life?
To a better sex life? I would say definitely, something I've already talked about, just communication. I'm not even talking about in the bedroom, because if you don't have good communication, then you're going to have a bad sex life. It doesn't matter what techniques you know. You can be the best lover, and the woman is still gonna, or your partner, if this goes both ways, man and woman, your partner may still not want to have sex. And you've got all the tricks, you know how to give them an orgasm. Especially, so for women, I can say, if you have a fight or whatever, outside of you're in the kitchen, you have a disagreement, whatever, she's probably not going to want to have sex with you. That does not get her in the mood. She needs to be in the mood to have sex, to want to have sex. For you guys, often, sex is what gets you in the good mood, right? So if you are having a disagreement outside of the bedroom, she's not going to want to have sex. It doesn't matter how good you are at sex, she's not going to want to have it. She's going to have a really bad sex life. So you got to have really good communication and resolve things that are coming up outside of the bedroom before you're going to have a good sex life. And then when you have really good communication outside the bedroom, then you're going to have good communication in the bedroom, which will give you a good sex life. So beyond the techniques, you can have great technique, zero communication, you're going to have a terrible sex life. Yeah, communication's everything.
So, on the contrary, there are cases also, like say, suppose the guy and the girls have a controversy, whatever, there's a disagreement at some point of time, but in the bed at night, they are having a raunchy sex. That also has happened.
Oh, absolutely. There's like angry sex. There's a lot of sex happening, for sure. But when I say sex, it's a whole different thing. Like there's sex, the physical act, and the release, and the carnal pleasure of that. And then there's intimacy with your partner, and connection, and vulnerability with your partner. You can be intimate with your partner and not have sex. You can have sex and not be intimate. So I'm talking about, well, at least what I teach is really combining deep, deep intimacy and deep trust and deep vulnerability with sex. And so when you put those two things together, yeah, you can bang it out and get an orgasm. Yeah, that is satisfying on a certain level. But when you get to know your partner on these levels that I dive into, then that other sex doesn't even compare as far as pleasure goes. So one of my clients, she knows all the techniques and whatnot, and she was with her lover, and they were both kind of tired and not really feeling like exploring each other's bodies so much. Like, she wasn't really doing the erotic massage stuff that she learned. And they just kind of went right into sex. And she said, you know what? We were both not as satisfied. Like, it wasn't easier. It wasn't at all as pleasurable as when we take the time to do this thing, you know, these different techniques. It was way, way, way more satisfying than just plain old sex with an orgasm. You know, it's like, yeah, you can live on plain bread and water. You can live on that. But once you've tasted a whole buffet of gourmet food, do you want to go back to plain bread and water? Right? Like, you know, you don't want to go back. When you've experienced, the deliciousness of this melting on my tongue, and like, there's so much more to sex than banging it out. Yeah.
I have read somewhere, if you're not close enough, you're not good enough.
If you're not close enough?
If you're not close enough, you're not good enough.
I don't know if I'm hearing you right. Gross enough or close enough?
If you're not close enough, you are not good enough.
Okay, explain what you mean by that.
This I have read in Kama Sutra over here, that if you're not close enough to a lady or whomsoever, you're not good enough. If you don't know him personally, means don't know the heart, you cannot perform that way.
Oh, close emotionally.
Yes.
There's a lot of truth in that. But I have met strangers, obviously, with the work that I was doing. A stranger who I'd never met would come into my room and I would ruin them. Like, I would ruin them for any other lover. Like, they would walk away going, oh my gosh, like I don't even know what to do now because I can't go back to regular sex after this. And I didn't know them at all. However, I did open my heart. I did treat them with absolute compassion and admiration and respect and kindness. And I treated them with, like, I imagined that love was transmitting through my hands into their body. There are other people who do the work that I did, erotic massage, where it's very mechanical. You know, there's a massage, there's like a happy ending. It's all very mechanical, and that's not enjoyable at all. So I would agree with you that whether you know that person or not, you can love on them. You can open up and understand that beneath the surface of who they are, who they're presenting themselves to be, if you really like look inside and understand that they are a precious soul, you know, they are a divine being having this human condition, and they are loved by God or higher being or whatever you believe, and they are precious at their core, and they deserve to be treated as such. You treat anybody like that, that's a level of closeness that even couples don't reach sometimes. So I would agree, the more that you open yourself and allow yourself to be your soul to be close to their soul while you're doing these amazing techniques, mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. You are good enough at that point. You're the best thing that they've ever experienced, probably, if you let yourself really go there.
So in erotic massage, there are a lot of massages which are there. So to name few is duo or forehead massage, then there is neuro massage is there. So a lot of massages are there. If you can throw some light on few of those massages and the techniques that have been used, and what for the ultimate goal, I understand, but what for which tissues is creates in, like do or forehand massage. So how that actually,
Forehand, did you say?
forehand, yeah.
So forehand. So that was the very first massage that I did in that office, where there were 4 hands on that client's body, two ladies, and I mean, that is divine, because you usually only have 2 hands on your body at one time, unless your own hands are on your body. But to just surrender and have strange hands on your body, it's usually only 2. So 4 hands is amazing if those 4 hands are really giving, like it's not mechanical, like they're really going slow and taking their time and really loving on you. It is phenomenal. I've had, like, not a sensual massage, but just a therapeutic massage where it was 4 hand, and it felt spectacular. It feels very decadent, and it really sometimes is difficult, especially for men, to receive that, because that's a lot of attention on a man all at once. And a lot of men feel like, I can't make this all about me, or I look selfish. I look like a selfish lover if it's all just me. And they want to reciprocate, right? They want to throw those 4 hands down on the bed and have, so it's difficult sometimes for men to actually enjoy that fully, because they're not used to fully 100% receiving and not being expected to reciprocate. But if you can allow yourself to totally relax and take it, it's divine. Nuru. So that is where a person's body is all lubed up, and the person on the bed or the table or whatever, they're all lubed up, and the giver is sliding their body along the receiver's body. And that can be very pleasurable as well, because it's not just the hands, it's, the soft breasts and the belly, and, all these other lovely, luscious parts of our body. But again, sometimes it's done in a way that is not as pleasurable as other ways. You have to do that really super slowly and sensually. And there's different ways to do Nuru. I do a Nuru-like. I do several Nuru-like techniques where you aren't just using your hands, but yes, the rest of your body. And that can be very pleasurable for the giver as well. But again, the receiver is just receiving. It's like the slip and slide. I don't know. The slip and slide where it's this plastic sheet and you put water on it and you run and you dive on it and you just slide. Well, the guy is the slip and slide, and you are the slider on the top. So again, the receiver has to just receive that, because you can't slide. You're just laying there. Another great, practice in just receiving. But it can be delicious depending on how it's done. Yeah, and I touch on that in my courses too. A good rule of thumb, slow equals moan. That's one thing that everyone needs to get in their system. Slow equals moan. Your partner will moan much more, meaning they're enjoying it much more, the slower you go. And it's kind of counterintuitive, because when the frenzy of excitement and passion, and you're on fire, and the tendency is to go faster. No, go slower. Don't speed them along towards that orgasm. The slower you go, the more turned on they are. So, with Nuru especially, go slow.
Then comes penis massage.
What's that?
Then
What
comes
massage?
Penis massage. Lingers penis massage.
Penis massage?
Yeah.
Yes. Although, okay, so one thing I want to address, penis massage. Men and women think, yeah, massage my penis. Or I'm going to give him an erotic massage. That means I'm massaging his penis. Yes. And there are 10 different hot spots in a man's genital area. 10. So if you are just focusing on the penis, you are leaving so many other areas out of the party. You know, like there are so many different ways. There's 10 different areas. There's so many different ways to stimulate those 10 different areas. And there's every single different way produces a different sensation. So yes, there's penis massage, but there are so many ways to massage a penis, by the way, but that is not the only area that you want to focus on. When you're massaging a man's genitals, you want to get in on all the different areas. And that is exactly what I teach. All the areas, because they all have different sensations. I've had so many clients who said their partner, they did this thing, they did like guacamole or they did pizza pocket or whatever they did. And the guy he's been laying there just moaning and whatnot. And then he'll like look up and go, "What are you doing to me? Don't stop. It feels amazing, but what are you doing to me? I don't even know what you're doing." Because he can't do it to himself. He's never felt that sensation before. Unless he has arms coming out of his kneecaps, he can't get to that area like we can, the givers. So yeah, you're going to be touching your man in ways he's never even felt before. And the good old up and down, that is one of over 69 different techniques that I teach. That's only one. I call that spaghetti, by the way. That's called spaghetti 101. It does feel good, it done correctly, but there's so many other things that you can do just with the penis alone, plus all the other areas. Yeah.
So the same goes with the vagina massage, I believe.
Exactly. There are, and I will say, whether you're a man or a woman doing a massage on your partner's private parts, don't just make a beeline for the private parts. You need to take the scenic route there. Like, caress all of the curves of her body first that aren't even private parts. Like love on the rest of her body, meander there. Like, this is something that I teach in the free Drive Him Wild thing. Like, you're meandering all over the body first and take your time getting there so that your partner is begging for you to go down there, right? And then it doesn't matter what you do because she's so turned on. But yeah, you don't go straight for the clitoris, you don't go straight for the vagina. You take your time getting in there. You start from the outside and you work your way in. And not fast and furious. You take your time and you use different pressures and different speeds and different strokes. And yeah, you gotta mix it up. And don't be in a hurry if you know what really turns her on, make that the 12th thing that you do. Like, you don't do that first. You ramp up. Women need to be ramped up. And even men, if a guy's laying naked on your bed, you don't walk up and just start, whacking him off. You don't do that. You slowly warm his body up, get the juices flowing first. So both men and women need to hear that. You don't go straight for the sweet spot. You take your time getting there.
Slow and steady over here also.
Yes. Yeah.
So there is another massage which is very popular, at least in this part of the world. That is tantric massage.
Tantric massage. I've studied Tantra a lot, and when I say the word Tantra, it means Tantra like something completely different. How I know Tantra is there is no finish line. It's this slow honoring of a person's body, making them feel beautiful and desired and cherished. And it's giving. There's no give and take. There's give from one person, and then there's give from the other person. It's just giving, and honoring each other's preferences, and honoring each other's boundaries, and finding out what those boundaries and preferences are. And the stuff that I teach is very Tantra-like. I don't like to say that it is, because people have an idea of what Tantra is, and it sometimes is completely different from what I do. But it's very slow, it's very honoring, it's very respectful, and incredibly stimulating. So that you are turned on more than you think you should be able to handle before you even have an orgasm. And if an orgasm happens, great. But it doesn't have to, because you're so turned on and feeling amazing that you're just swimming in this bliss soup. Yeah. So Tantra, yeah. The way that I've learned it and the way that I teach it, I think that Tantra is it's the key, because it really it requires communication. It requires being very respectful of your partner, and that's, I think, the foundation to an amazing sex life.
So there is another massage which we like to know about. That is called prostate massage.
Prostate massage, yes. And so that is where you're inserting your finger into the man's anus and feeling for this little area, which is the prostate, and there's different ways you can stroke it, but it can stimulate in a very desirable way a man sexually and lead him to an orgasm. And some women feel comfortable doing that for a man. Some women don't. They don't want to put their finger inside their anus, or, maybe their finger isn't long enough, they can't reach it, or whatever. Or maybe, she's got a little nick on her skin, and so then that's like scratching his prostate. That's no good either, right? So often women will actually put on gloves so that it's very smooth to do that. I personally don't like using gloves. I don't feel what's going on, and I like to feel what's going on. Myself personally, I prefer to stimulate the prostate from the outside. And there's ways to stimulate it from the inside and the outside at the same time, which is amazing too. So you can do whatever your level of preference is, but there are a lot of ways that a person can stimulate the prostate from the outside. She doesn't even need to reach inside to get at it. That is so yummy. Yeah. And not all men are sensitive that way. Like it doesn't do anything for them. Other men, it's like, wow, that's like my favorite thing is prostate massage. So it really varies.
Lastly, everybody's favorite, happy ending massage.
So happy ending massage, as in we're going to have a massage, we're going to massage this area with an orgasm in mind, correct?
True.
Yeah. So I like to do a massage that ends in a happy ending. That's two different things. Because the first thing that I'll say to a man when I'm massaging down there is I will let him off the hook and say, okay, so you may have an orgasm in like 10 seconds. You may not have an orgasm at all. I can pull out all the tricks out of my bag and you might not have an orgasm. I don't want him to feel pressure to have one or to feel bad if he doesn't have one. That doesn't seem so happy at all. That feels really inoculating. actually. So the best way to do a happy ending massage is to not make it an ending. Is to just massage that area. And I like to edge, like I like to tease that area a whole lot first. A lot. So that by the time I get to a happy ending massage, he is so turned on, he's barely able to contain himself. That is the best way to do a happy ending massage, to tease him a lot before you even get there. And then when you're really focusing on that area, don't do it in a way that seems like you are trying to make this an ending. Because that's what a lot of women do, is they're like, okay, I'm doing this really fast and furious. I'm trying to get it over with. And the man is interpreting that as, okay, she's clearly not enjoying this because she's trying to get this over as quickly as possible. That's no fun for the guy. So I teach women to do it super slow and to feel like she's enjoying what she's doing. He's losing his marbles because he's in ecstasy. He can't help but have an orgasm. I mean, it's going to be a happy ending, but the expectation of it being a happy ending is not there. And I had this one, I'll finish with this story. I had this one client, he came into my office, this was years ago, and he said, right at the beginning, as I was about to begin, I mean, it's clear that we're going to do a massage and there is a happy ending at the end. He said, I'm just letting you know, I don't ever have an orgasm. So I'm just letting you know, you don't even have to try. You don't have to go there. You don't have to try. So, and I'd had enough experience that I said, okay, so how about this? We'll just take the happy ending off the table. We're not even going to try for it. We're not, you don't have to, I'm not expecting you to do that. I'm going to do what I do. And I'm going to massage in all the ways that I massage, and it's going to feel delicious and lovely and wonderful. And you don't have to do a thing. You just enjoy. Guy had an orgasm. Because he wasn't expected to. He could just enjoy. He could relax and be free and just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And of course he had an orgasm.
So you cut down the performance anxiety from his mind. That's why I believe.
Yes, that is number one. That is the first thing that I teach women. Eliminate all performance anxiety for your guy. He will enjoy this so much more. And he won't be expecting you to be a pro and give him an orgasm when he's not going to be able to have an orgasm. Like, you're off the hook too as the giver. So everyone's off the hook. Everyone's just enjoying what's happening. That's how you get a happy ending.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now coming back to your coaching methodology, rather your guidance methodology. So how do we, our audience or the viewers, get in touch with you? And what is your methodology? How do you teach?
Well, all of my courses are online. So if you sign up for a program, you're getting like videos that you can just stream at any time. I offer coaching that goes along with it as well. I'm starting brand new, it's called On Fire. I'm starting a new session of that next Monday, actually. and that some people find that very helpful in that, they have questions, and there's certain things that aren't covered in the course that I cover in the personal coaching. And, if they're having problems, then they can reach out to me and say, okay, so, I did this and that didn't work on my guy. He had different anatomy. And then we can work through that. But all of my programs are at rockthebedroom.com. I have lots of things going on, but to be a part of my world, for when I come up with new courses, or if I have a new online challenge. Sometimes I just finished a 5-day challenge that we do together online live. That's super fun. So you can be notified of all those things when they come up at rockthebedroom.com. And check out the free thing first. And that's just stepping inside the front door of my world. And it'll give you a good idea of what it is that I offer. It's all done on video. I'm demonstrating on a naked live man. I don't ever demonstrate on a dildo or a cucumber. There's not drawings. It's video. It's live. I've filmed it, and it's streaming videos. So people can watch at their leisure and when they have privacy and whatnot.
So different peoples have different problems in sex life. So for that, they may go for teaching of this. So how they communicate with you? Whether yes, video is a one part that actually gives a lot of answers to a lot of things. But if somebody has any specific question, how to reach you in that case?
They can. You can always email me at contact@leejagger.com. And if you go to my website, rockthebedroom.com, there is a way to contact me. And you can send me a direct email, and I personally will answer it. I don't have a team who answers my emails. I personally look at all of them. So you're getting me. Yeah, you're getting the expert answering your question. You're not just getting someone on my staff. I can't delegate that because no one knows my stuff the way I do. So yeah, contact@leejagger.com.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So any message for my listeners?
Oh my goodness. So I would invite, first for the ladies, get in touch with your inner goddess. The part of you that is confident, the part of you that is compassionate and powerful and creative and playful. When you get in touch with your own inner goddess, everything else is easy. You walk into the bedroom and you own it. You are powerful, and you don't even know how powerful you are. And that is something that can be learned. It's not something you're born with. It's something that is learned. I know because I was the opposite of being powerful, and now I teach this all over the world, and I'm an expert. So if I can do it, you can too. But it starts with you embracing your inner goddess. It's not about you serving a guy. This is about you stepping into your power. And for men, I want you to know that you are perfect. You are perfect. Your genitals are perfect just the way they are. The size, the shape, the design, everything. You are perfect. There's nothing that you need to change. I get comments all the time, questions all the time from men saying, how do I get a bigger penis? How do I How do I get an erection? Like, you're perfect. Just leave it alone because you can't fix perfection. Ladies, I'll teach you what to do with that perfection. Yeah. That's all. That's what I have to say about that.
Now, the last question to you. What does chase your dream mean to you?
Chase your dream. What does that mean to me? It means, oh my gosh. For me personally, I am a born teacher. I knew when I was in grade 6 that I wanted to be a teacher. And I've been teaching different things all my life. This is my biggest thing to teach, is erotic massage. And for me, teaching is all about being a shining example. You don't tell people to feel confident. You show confidence, and those who are ready to feel their confidence will follow you. So for me, chasing my dream is for me to live in my 100% authentic self, which is, being confident in who I am as a person. And so the more and more that's my dream, is to be the shining example for all others who are looking for inspiration in this area. Yeah. So the brighter I can shine my light, the closer I'm getting to my dream.
With that, we have come to the end of the show. It is an absolute honor to have you in my show.
It is an honor to be answering all of these really good questions. You have great listeners. The people who submitted these questions are fabulous. Thank you. It's been an honor to be your guest.
Thank you.
That's all for today. Thank you, viewers, for viewing this show. Do check the show notes if you want to listen to the podcast, which is available on Anchor, Google, and Apple platform. The link is there. Do subscribe us and share with your family members, enemies,